Positive intelligence is a measure of what percentage of time your mind is serving you versus sabotaging you. And PQ is your positive intelligence score.
There is a tug of war inside your head between your saboteurs and your sage. Everyone has the judge saboteur, and then depending on your personality, one or two other saboteurs with names like controller, victim, avoider, or pleaser. On the other side, your sage has 5 great powers that are mostly untapped. You can easily learn to weaken your saboteurs and build up your sage. This increases your positive intelligence or PQ score, which is a measure of your sage versus saboteur power.
And I'll show you research that shows your PQ score is very much tied to your level of performance, how much of your potential you actually reach, and how happy you are in life. And that if you want to increase performance or happiness in a sustainable way, either in yourself or in teams that you lead, your best bet is to focus on how do I raise the positive intelligence score. The special thing about lecturing at Stanford is that this is where it all started for me. My discovery of my saboteurs actually happened when I was sitting in an MBA class at Stanford about 23 years ago. So it's very special for me to actually bring this full circle and come back here and lecture on positive intelligence that had its genesis here. We are equally screwed up. You are kind of right now aware of the fact that actually your mind does some crazy stuff. It does some really stupid stuff. I used to think that because I am an Ivy League trained person and have been successful in math and science and psychology and all that stuff, I used to think, well, this is a well-trained brain, right? I should respect it. Everything it produces is good stuff. It came to me as quite a shock that actually that is not true. That actually this well-trained brain does some really good stuff and does some really nasty sabotage. What saddens me is that most adults that I work with have become a shadow of themselves. They are tapping only into 20% or less of their true power and true potential. They have forgotten who they were. And the thing that excites me most about positive intelligence is that I'm helping people remember how amazing they are. And I'm giving them access back to their own great powers that they forgot they have. You can take any challenge that life throws at you, and if you choose to handle it with your sage rather than saboteurs, you can turn it into a gift that can do great stuff. When you look at me, I have the judge, the saboteur that I had, the executioner as I call him. He's a really nasty character. You would not want to be caught alone in a dark room with my judge, the executioner. But I also like you guys to know I'm an incredibly lovely human being. I have references that attest to that. That is me too. That is my sage. And the question is, as a leader, if you are leading me, my question to you is, which side of me are you going to bring out? As a leader, as a parent, as a spouse, you bring out either the saboteurs in the other person or you bring out the best, the sage in them. A lot of the positive intelligence work has come from working with literally hundreds of CEOs and their executive teams. And what makes it so practical is that when I coach a CEO or members of their executive team, week after week I have to be on the phone with them or in a meeting with them and ask, so were you able to implement the strategy we talked about? Were you able to use this tool that we devised? And if the answer is no, the question is, well, was it the right tool? Was it a easy enough tool? Was it a tool that actually fits people's busy schedules? And honing it and honing it and honing it until there are tools and techniques that actually fit. So that's a question that always comes up. Okay, I get to expose my saboteur. It's inside of my head, nagging at me all the time. How do I combat it? What do I do with it then? Guess what happens if you get really, really, really upset at your judge? The judge is double dipping on you. So it's having you, it's having you have the judge feeling, and then having you judge the judge feeling, which is twice the judge. It's the double dipping strategy. So don't get upset at your saboteurs. Notice them and label them. Notice them and label them. Your enemy, if it's going under the radar and pretending it's your voice, has a lot more power than when it gets labeled every time it shows up. Increasingly, when I went back to people and said, you know, the work we did a year ago, how is it going? Is the team still performing a lot better? Are you guys still happier? When over and over again they told me that I had not only changed the dynamics of the team, but changed individuals' lives, what I realized is that this was having a far more profound impact than I even initially thought it could. So as a result, in the introduction to the book, what I say to the reader is, please have very high expectations of what you can get out of this book. Please consider this something that can absolutely change your life, and please do not settle until you have that kind of impact from reading the book.